Hello guys, yes, today I'm here to share with you all the story of Agnes and Doris. Their story is very well known, but unfortunately I haven't had the opportunity to watch it yet. So today I'm here to share it with y'all. So, if you guys don't know, it's actually a very interesting story and it is set in a very interesting time as well. So, basically, Agnes and Doris share a passionate but tragic romance affair in the Netflix series Dark. Their relationship serves as a pivotal emotional anchor in Winden. Yes, but before we get into more details, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me all know your personal opinion down below in the comments because like I always say it 100% does matter. So just to make it very clear, the series is called Dark. It has 3 seasons available and the first season was released in 2017 if I'm not mistaken. To be honest, this couple have been on my watch list for a really long time, but I never got the opportunity to watch it yet because I felt like it was the type of series that I needed to take my time because I thought that the couple would get a lot of camera time. We would see a lot of them. So I really wanted to take my time when it came to the story. But unfortunately, I was very much, to be honest, in my personal opinion, I was very much disappointed. I feel like the story was very forced, first and foremost. Even though I do feel like they had a pretty good connection and things could have been a little bit more than what it was. I feel like it was kind of a forced connection just to make the series a little bit more interesting. But y'all might have a different opinion than mine, but I just wanted to put that out there. So let's get a little bit, into more details regarding their story. So basically said in 1954, Agnes arrives in Sweden with her young son Tronte and rents a room in Doris' house. Doris is the wife of a police officer. She is lonely and trapped in a loveless marriage. She quickly strikes up a romantic affair with Agnes, especially Agnes being so determined and so like in front. She already knew the moment that she laid her eyes on Doris that she was attracted to her. Obviously, according to, in this case, Agnes, she also, is a widow and she had been married to her husband who have supposedly passed away for 15 years. And Doris is in a marriage, going towards to 10 years. So they both have obviously the history and they both are moms. But obviously things is far simple as it seems, because the two start to spend more time together. Obviously Agnes didn't go to Sweden just to go. She went there with an agenda to get back to where she wants to be at in the timeline thing, something like that. Our story was a little bit confusing. I couldn't get it, so I had to do a little bit of research. So she wanted the reason why she went back to her hometown after everything that happened to her husband. According to her, her husband was a preacher. It's because she wanted to get back to the timeline, something, so she took that opportunity to go there to figure out how to get there back. But obviously things, didn't go as planned, or they did go as planned because, in the first season, we can only see when it comes to the storyline, like 3 episodes with very short clips, and then moving forward to season 2, also very short clips, and then obviously season 3, we basically don't see them together. But according to what I could take from season 3, is that, you can see that Agnes, she ends up disappearing. And obviously, Doris, she ends up getting so worried, about Agnes, disappearance because at the end of the day, she cannot make sense, to what happened to her because she would never just leave her son behind, especially for so long. So she went and she seeks help to her husband, who is a police officer. But obviously, at the beginning, you can say her husband wasn't very much willing to help her. But later on, things have changed. So there was also something very, 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 very nice to see. And later on, you can see that so, just going separate ways. Obviously, Doris still trying to make sense of everything that happened to, Agnes and to see where she at. But later on, I feel like it was also a very much of a healing process for, in this case, Doris, because Doris actually ends up having a very long conversation with her husband. Yes. And she ends up realizing that, even though Agnes has disappeared and she doesn't know anything about her, that she is trapped in a loveless marriage, that she is trapped in a loveless relationship, and that, that's not what she wants anymore. So she actually ends up, go moving forward and, telling her husband that she wants a divorce. But not only because of this, because she also ends up finding out her husband's infidelity, that he has been basically cheating on her, and basically had a whole kid on her, so there's also something that ends up causing her to step away, because she was like, I'm not going to be married to somebody that is basically having feelings and developing an emotional connection with somebody else, and now also being, like, in this case, a father. In this case, Egno and Anna affair produces a daughter named Celia. That was also like a healing moment, in my personal opinion, for Doris, because she realized, I just had this beautiful emotional connection with somebody that came in my life very unexpectedly, which is, in this case, Agnes. Now she disappears. Now I'm left with this emptiness, and now I have to sleep or be in a relationship with somebody that's also cheating on me and has basically a whole life outside of me with somebody else. I don't want that for me anymore. So that is basically the situation that she goes through, finally finding some healness upon herself. But according to my research, according to what I have read, basically they said something like Agnes disappears, but it in the future said, she and Doris end up together. I don't know about that, because you guys have to understand this story. It is in different timelines. Yes, it's in different timelines. They break down stories differently, so it's about the evolution of each person or each character in this case. So according to what I've read, they actually end up saying that the couple, or this case, that this love affair between the two actually ends up being a happy ending in the future. I don't know about that. If you guys have more details regarding it, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Like I said, the story is very much straightforward. It's not nothing out of like, wow, what a spectacular couple, such a beautiful story, we need more stories like this. No, I feel like it was very short. We barely see them having conversations. We just see them basically sharing moments together. There was at one scene when they were where they were hooking up, where Doris' daughter almost got them together, and then that was about it. And obviously the moment they got introduced to one another, when in this case, how come we say when Agnes moved into Doris' house and later on introduced to her husband, but that was about it. The other moments that we have is just like glimpses of them spending time together and getting close to one another, which led to them having this quick love affair. So that's basically it. I don't feel like there's nothing out of the ordinary. I don't feel like it's something like, wow, it just blew my mind. And I was, like I said at the beginning of the video, I was kind of disappointed because I had higher expectations for the story. But I'm happy I waited, at least it was a short watch, because the main reason why I wanted to watch the series is because of the storyline. So when I realized we would not get, or I would not get anything much, it was a short watch for me, but still very cute. Like, well, a couple with a lot of potential, but like I already said, I do feel like their relationship was, or the storyline was, kind of forced. But it is what it is. If you guys want to watch it, or if you guys have watched it and you have a different opinion than mine, please drop it down below in the comments. And I also want to say it is available to watch on Netflix. It has 3 seasons available, and if you haven't watched it, go watch it, come back and let me know if you agree or disagree with me. I will personally rate their storyline, to be honest, a very, very, very strong 5 out of a 10, just not to give it a 4. But that's just my opinion. Let me know yours. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Until the next video, and goodbye.